He was called the Prince of Darkness, the godfather of heavy metal. And now, the silence that follows is deafening. Ozzy Osbourne, frontman of Black Sabbath, solo legend, cultural icon, has died at 76. But his story isn't just about music. It's about madness, survival, and a final act that stunned the world. Born in the grey industrial heart of Birmingham, England in 1948, John Michael Osbourne never imagined he'd become a global icon. He was a troubled kid with learning issues and little hope. But everything changed when four working-class lads came together in 1968 to form a band. That band was Black Sabbath, and they didn't just play rock, they created something darker, heavier, and louder than anyone had heard before. With Ozzy's haunting vocals leading the charge, Black Sabbath dropped sonic bombs like Paranoid, Warpigs, and Iron Man. These weren't just songs, they were anthems of rebellion, fear, and defiance. Sabbath wasn't a band, it was a warning, and at the center of it all was Ozzy, unhinged, electric, unforgettable. But fame has a cost. In 1979, after years of substance abuse and internal tensions, Ozzy was kicked out of his own band. Most would have crumbled. Ozzy exploded. He launched a solo career that eclipsed what anyone thought was possible. Crazy Train wasn't just a hit, it was a declaration. With his wild antics, signature voice, and fearless sound, Ozzy became more than a rock star. He became a myth. Of course, myths come with monsters. Behind the stage lights was a man fighting demons. Addiction nearly took him. A near-fatal fall in 2019 left him needing major surgery. And in 2003, he was quietly diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a fact he kept hidden until 2020. Even then, he told fans, "It's not a death sentence." He meant it. Ozzy kept going. In 2022, after more surgeries, therapy, and what he called groundbreaking cybernetics treatment, Ozzy stunned everyone by returning to the stage at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Fans wept. He couldn't stand for long. But when he opened his mouth, the voice was still there. The power, the fury, the soul. By 2025, Ozzy could no longer walk, but he could still sing. That July, he reunited with Black Sabbath one last time for a farewell concert in Birmingham. Sitting on a throne, surrounded by the roar of a crowd that had worshipped him for decades, he delivered his final performance. No gimmicks, no chaos, just raw, defiant music. And then, silence. His death came just weeks later, peacefully, surrounded by family. The man who once seemed indestructible was finally gone. But his legacy? Untouchable. Ozzy's journey wasn't just about music. It was about truth, often ugly, sometimes absurd, always real. When MTV aired The Osbournes in 2002, fans saw past the myth. They saw the messy, hilarious, loving chaos of a real family. Sharon, his wife and manager, kept him grounded. Kelly and Jack became stars in their own right. And through it all, Ozzy remained. Ozzy. No script, no filter. That honesty sometimes broke them. Scandals, separations, public breakdowns, they lived it all in front of the world. But in 2017, after a rocky patch, Sharon and Ozzy renewed their vows. She said she'd fallen back in love. He said he'd finally learned what it meant to grow up. Even as his body failed, Ozzy refused to be pitted. In his own words, "I may be moaning that I can't walk, but I look down the road, and there's people that didn't do half as much as me and didn't make it." He canceled tours not because he wanted to, but because he wouldn't let fans see and give anything less than 100%. This wasn't ego. It was pride, respect, love for the audience who gave him everything. Ozzy's final message wasn't about death, it was about endurance. Over his career, he earned 5 Grammy wins, 12 nominations, and 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. But numbers don't tell the story. His music became a lifeline for outsiders, rebels, the misunderstood. For every kid who felt like they didn't belong, Ozzy was proof that you could turn pain into power. And now, he's gone. But not really. Because Ozzy's not just in our playlists, he's in our bones. In every riff that makes your heart race, in every lyric that screams against the dark. He showed us how to rage, how to survive, and how to laugh through the madness. He wasn't just the Prince of Darkness. He was a beacon for the broken. And he'll never be replaced. Rest in power, Ozzy. The train keeps rolling, but there'll never be another like you.